Triple B's Tees offer custom shirts and logo designs for all your apparel and merchandise needs, offering a variety of shirts, hats, hoodies, tumblers, and koozies. Triple B's will work with you one-on-one to personalize and perfect your logo. With over 5 years in the business, 20 years in the sport, they live for Demolition Derby.
Chunk and his crew can bring your imagination to realization with zero limitations. So for all your badass tees, choose Triple B's.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast.
What's up?
Let's jump right into it.
Oh, shit.
D.E.M.O.
Pro Light Division.
It's Bristol, baby.
It is voting time.
Voting is open, people. Get out and do your due diligence.
Anybody that's got Facebook can see all of it.
And if you don't have Facebook, you get on their website.
Yes.
Because that's what we're for.
Websites. Not OnlyFans and all that.
OnlyFans,
Shit.
whatever. www.demo-motorsports.com. Click on the link. You can vote for 7 teams.
The only thing you got to do is give them your email. That's it.
Wow. It's going to be... I wish they were doing a live poll.
Yes. Open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for 3 days.
Uh-huh.
And actually show the votes as they're getting voted. I mean, dude, there's some fuckers on this list that, not even counting the other 8 that are already in, that we know of a couple, but we don't know all of them.
Right.
This is fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is enough right here to make a show.
Motherfucker of a show.
Mm-hmm. I think this right here, what you're saying, and I may catch some feedback on this, but I think now that this list is out of who's wanting in this motherfucker, I think you're going to see the support change.
Well, we talked. We know some guys that are going to be going to this that'll probably have a team at Bizzler Bash too. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a month apart.
Let me back up. I'm not saying that they're going to choose one show over another. I'm just saying that the skepticism and shit, after you see some of these names that are on this list that want to be a part of this, I think it's going to change from I don't know if they can do that too. Man, these motherfuckers they think they can do it.
We're going to see.
Well, regardless of whether anybody thinks they can do it, they're fucking doing it. It's going to happen.
Yep.
It may only happen one time,
but it's going to happen. I'm going to hit on it. The rules are out for both the Pro Mod and the Pro Light.
Did you happen to read through any of those?
I started to. The only thing that I really didn't like is they won't give you a tire because they can't tell you if they're running on dirt or asphalt.
I'm pretty sure it's dirt, but I haven't got 100% confidence.
I hope it's dirt. That's me. I mean, I've watched, I think it was in Colorado. It was on like MAV TV or something. It was like imps on concrete.
Yeah, I saw that.
You wouldn't really think with dirt you would have more traction than you would on concrete.
Right.
Because a little bit of water on the concrete, they just light it up like it's an icicle. I want dirt. I want shit thrown everywhere. I want to dodge mud clods. I want my glasses to look like I've just went through a fucking motocross race.
What's your thoughts on imps? And I use this term very loosely, so I'm going to put quotations on it. In the lighter class.
I've said it for a long time. An imp or a suey, something like that. When you're on the lighter class anyways, they're still going to have their issues.
Which I read through the rules. and I'm not saying I fucking dove into them real hard. It almost looks like the Gold Rush mod rules.
Mm-hmm. Imps are going to do imp shit.
O3s are going to do
O3
O3
shit.
stuff.
Yeah.
So what do you take?
Wagon.
You take a wagon?
Mm-hmm.
Real estate? Think so?
All the fucking real estate. Give them a target to hit for 3 solid days. Right up the ass. And then once you sedagging it, like Mr. Markley will do,
Right.
he's going to do suspension delete kits. And he ain't going to be the only person doing it.
Well, no.
I'm going to guess.
I'm anxious to see what everybody's car choice is. Because I think we're going to see... I still think we're going to see a mix. I think you're going to see some new styles in there.
Oh, yeah. Especially on the heavy side.
Oh, yeah.
I got everybody and their dog wanting 9 to 11s.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Because what you can do to them.
Right.
You know.
A 9 to 11 has a really good place around here locally in a hot stock show. Because you cut the fucking front of it off, put a 9802 on it.
Best of both worlds.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't read up in the rules enough on the Pro Light side. Are they allowed to... I think I saw maybe factory steering on O3s or...
Yeah, I don't know.
The rack?
It's going to be... Like I said, I didn't dig into them hard. I just did some skimming. I think you can do a little bit to the front of them. I don't think you're allowed full welding cradles and shit.
So you still have to run the factory
Yeah.
or the factory replacements.
And before anybody's like, hey, you stupid fuck, you don't know what you're talking about, I just told you I haven't read all the way into them, so I'm not going to talk on it too much. I'm just saying from what I skimmed through, it kind of looked more 14, 15, 16 mod rulish. Which in a progression of a sport, that's how the shit works.
Go back a little bit. I mean, because 14, 15, 16 mods, you were able to put a 9802 cradle on it.
Right. But, well, and I'm speaking more on the front can be heavier than the back. You know what I'm saying? But it's on there. If you all want to go take a look at it for yourself, I have seen it shared several times.
Oh, yes.
Get on their Facebook page. It's there. Let's jump into this votable list. You want to start that out?
The Click. You got some names that run a lot of the wicked stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Sullivan, Corey Parrish, and Corey Buddy. Too fast, baby.
And then you got Crazy Inc.
Yep.
That's one. Me personally, that's where my vote went.
Yes.
Traver, Don Santel, Toby
Hiley, with Butch and Traver, and the fourth is unnamed.
Right.
So that's the deal. Do you got guys that have got these dudes set up, locked in, ready to rock as soon as they get voted in? Or are they winging it? Dude, if we get in Bristol, we'll find a fucking fourth. We ain't going to have to worry about that.
Well, the people that you're talking about right there, they know enough people that they could be like, hey, you're going to have to build a car.
Yep.
Misfits. Gary Norton, Adam Tolliver, Ryan Seals, and Dakota. You want to tackle
Dakota
that?
Sisk.
I don't think I know those guys.
You don't know this next guy? Or do you don't know those guys?
Misfits.
Okay.
No, I know these next guys. That would be Johnson Wrecking Crew and XP Derby Parts. And that's going to be Zach Johnson, Chris Collins, Troy Johnson, and Jared Healy.
Yeah, you put Jared Haney and Troy and Chris and Zach together, they've ran together so much. Not only just on the local shit, big time.
Yep.
Big time. 210 Mafia, Trey, Doug, and Jesse Gregory with Preston Rhea.
Team America.
That's another 3-man team.
Right.
Gemini and Xavier Strelo and Mike Gebro. That's the first time I've seen Mike's name on a big stage forever.
Yeah. But it's Bristol.
That's right.
And then Whitaker Salvage. And
You know them dudes?
I do. Be Bob Whitaker and John Mavis.
Eric Blom and Dusty Gilgis. Eric won the Wheelman National show at South Dakota. Bob was in, I believe.
That's a household
I think he
name.
qualified once or twice for it. And then Dusty qualified through Pecatonica last year. And then, of course, 5X. Hey, while we're sitting on 5X, I didn't get fact-checked, but I did get a Snapchat. I thought that Mr. Molman fixed John's car at Street Stock. He did not. That was Molman's car. His roof sign blew off on the way down. So John's car was loaded. John loaned him his roof sign.
Because you got to have a roof sign out there.
I'm gonna fucking tell you better. So thanks, Cactus, for that heads up. So I didn't get no dick kicking.
Able to save a good dick kicking.
I like that. Is that DAD?
That's what it says.
Justin Sherman, Brian Sheldon, Ron DeVroy, and Jack Fissler Jr.
Chaos in the Valley.
Ha ha.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Matthew Kingery, Jonathan Patton, Eric Suit, and Chris Campbell.
Yep.
And I'm not going to lie, the next team that's on this list, I personally voted for.
100%. I did too, just because of the Kish boys.
Yes.
Not taking anything away from their teammates. I just I know how them dudes drive. They're not scared to fucking turn it up.
No, and Kurt Brinkman is the same way. You know, they were on the national side at Blizzard Bash.
Right.
He was usually in like a Rivy or something like that. So,
but like I've run with the Kish boys in the stock class, the hobo class at Blizzard Bash, and it was just you just watched their car. They go that way, and then they went that way at a high rate of speed.
Kish and stock should not ever be said in the same fucking sentence because they don't. I'm not saying that they can't drive because they can, but usually when you're seeing one into the next, don't give two shits. Forward, backwards, they don't care. Shit's gonna give. I don't think it's gonna give so much in this build. This is more of kind of their wheelhouse, that street stock build. That's gonna let them get down on it.
There's nothing street stock about this class. Team Metro, DJ Adamson, and Julian Suter.
That's two guys who finished really well at Carnage.
Yep. Julian one is.
Yep. I'm not sure if the Adamson.
But he's glad he went to fucking Topeka.
That's right. Realistic Derby Project.
I don't know those guys.
I know a couple of them. Cody and Dalen Brown. And here's the kicker. Alan Hassey and Brandon Johnson.
Yep.
Brandon, I believe, is from Arkansas.
Yes.
Hassey, he don't.
I've watched Brandon run at Hot Springs.
Mm-hmm. That is a team that you wouldn't think would try to get together.
Yeah, but I'm going to say it again. It's Bristol, baby.
Yep.
D-Block.
David Block and Devin Knowlton.
FBI. Randy Perry. Dave Sims. Chris Perry. Sean Long. Team Green. That's a one-namer.
Alan Winters. And then you've got Mad Mike's Derby Shop.
Yep.
Mad Mike, James Kenner, and Mike Miller. They're out, guys. You can go vote.
Now.
You can vote up to 7 times. For 17, I'm sorry. You can only vote for up to 7 teams. If you realize that you made a mistake, it lets you go back and redo. Or if you, I'm not really sure about these other 3 teams that I'm thinking about, I'm going to solidify my 4th, and I'm going to do a little bit of research, maybe watch a little bit of
YouTube.
Yes.
Derby tees, whatever.
Correct. And to let you really solidify your other 3 if you want to do the other 3. Like me and you were talking, I only use 5.
Right.
I mean, it just kind of changes.
Which, if you're on Facebook right now and you haven't seen this, I don't know what you're looking at.
I'm pretty sure Stevie Wonder has fucking seen this.
Yeah, because I just pulled Facebook up because everybody knows I'm a scroller. And first thing right at the top of the page, there it is.
Yep.
And then I scrolled down 3 posts and there it is again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you,
if you have 2 more, there it is again.
I was going to say, if you have any friends in the Derby world, even if you are not in the Derby world,
there it is again.
You will see this.
Fuck, I wish I had some friends.
Well, more and more things are coming out. And I'm going to say it right now. We were supposed to have Dustin Woods on. We were trying to get time slot solidified. Dustin was afraid that there's so many entities in this. He didn't want to be the one to...
He didn't want to overstep.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was his exact. And I said, well, I wanted to talk about King of Ohio. And he said, the thing is, he said, I think the demo part will take over of what we're trying to do with King of Ohio, too. He said, so, maybe we'll, after everything more comes to light and comes out to fruition.
And it's coming. There's information by the day.
It's April. Is it April 1st where kind of everything is going to be totally announced?
Oh, there it is again.
There it is again.
There it is again. Oh, there it is again.
You're probably just going to keep doing that and doing that and doing that.
Yeah, there it is again.
But that's the deal. So, okay, let's say they do it on concrete. Let's say they do it on asphalt. And I believe it is what I have read. It is right on the other side of the pit wall.
Right.
So
infield, I believe.
Does that mean in pit wall to the infield?
That's what it's looking like. As far as what I've heard. Like I said, please don't take all this that I say with a grain of salt. Because I've had some guys tell me some stuff, and I've had some other guys tell me some stuff, and I'm not going to out who it was, who told me what, and I'm not going to put it out there until it's in black and white. So say you're running on asphalt. Does that change? Does that change your setup? What you want to do? Tire selection. Well, I don't know how the fuck you're going to be prepared for that, because I don't know about you, but I've never run on asphalt.
I don't know. I don't personally know anybody that has.
Roy Porter.
Roy?
In Springfield or wherever the fuck that was, whenever they had that asphalt derby down there. I'm pretty sure Roy went down there and run that.
So, do you throw all the horsepower at it? Do you want to have the 114 horse like you got?
Right.
Are you worried about twisting axles off?
Yeah,
when it finally
you're running a
hooks up?
fatty under the back of it. Like, what are you doing?
Correct.
You want something that'll get hot and sticky. I mean, what do you want? I don't know. This is going to be one for the books.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And like we just said, your hotel's already booked.
Yep.
Mine's not. I have a nephew that decided he was going to announce getting married.
Well, that's okay. With this being added to my schedule, you may be going somewhere else that I'm not. Especially if I can take a car to this motherfucker.
Correct.
Because that's going to hurt the old pocketbook.
Oh, yeah. Big time. And I already had a hotel room for South Dakota. So, like I said, I wanted to go, but life.
Ah, fuck, man, we're not made of money.
That is no shit.
If I
could spell it. That's about it.
Sometimes. If I had all the monies, I would go to all the derbies.
Yes. Then I wouldn't have to worry about days off, vacation.
Well, mine's already gone. Like, I'm starting to pick days that I don't want them to pay me for.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I told them, I was like, you can still pay me. I'm just not going to be here.
I haven't figured that part out yet.
Let's get somebody on the phone.
That might know a little bit of something?
Yeah.
Cool. Be right back. This episode is brought to you by Broadhead Decals. From door wraps and roof signs, window stickers and banners, let Broadhead Decals take care of all your vinyl needs with only quality products used.
Justin's graphic design abilities will get you everything you could ever want. With super fast shipping, their turnaround time is second to none. So let Broadhead Decals take you to the next level. Well, we were talking about D.E.M.O. We've been talking about social media. We've got somebody here that might be able to shed a little light on both of those situations.
Correct. From the east side, Mr. Jason Kinman. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Derby Freaks?
There it is. Dude, D.E.M.O. is blowed the fuck up the internet for the past month. Are you ready, sir?
I'm definitely ready. We knew it was going to blow the doors off this thing, and we also know that negativity seems to be louder than positivity. So I knew what it was going to be, but I didn't think it would be at the level it is as far as the reactions go.
Oh, man, anything new is like that. And it seems like anytime somebody gets to throwing around the prize money numbers that were thrown around right off the bat, it brings out skepticism because nobody's seen it. I think now that the people are seeing who's supporting it and who's behind it, who's in charge, I think that some of those opinions are swaying a little bit. How do you feel about that?
You know, I think you hit the nail on the head. We've assembled a really good group from across the country. You know, anytime you have gentlemen like Chad Markley and Rob Hewer and the Rutherfords, and they're just, you know, Jason Brodzinski and Dylan Kunkel, there's so many good people that are involved. Rick Clark.
Yeah, well, Jason,
I think that brings a lot of validation to what we're doing and what we're trying to bring to the table.
100%. Like, we had Jason Dials on, and
yes,
he is, I mean, he's supportive in anything that is Derby related. Whether, you know, it wasn't his cup of tea, wasn't for him, wasn't something he was interested in or whatever. Anything that it seems to benefit the sport, that dude is all for.
Yep.
And
yes, he's great.
And that's what I'm seeing with
Jason on a few occasions, and he's top notch, and I'm glad he's involved for sure.
And that's what I'm seeing with a lot of these guys that, you know, their names are coming out, that they're in on it, or they're, you know, part of this organization that's becoming, I mean, this thing gained traction literally overnight. I mean, it's insane. But it seems like everybody is for the betterment of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know, that was one thing as a group we all talked about a lot was you got to have people who have won and done it at a high level. But on top of that, you got to have high character people, you know, and people who look at the big picture. We don't know what this is going to turn into, but we are going to try to improve the sport that we love. So that to me is the big goal. You know, let's improve if we can. Let's bring the highest competition level that we can on a little bit bigger stage, and but we're working together. You know, we're all going the same direction. So that's what's really important.
Well, dude, I know you're a big supporter of the King of Ohio. I know that's what you're working on now. Dude, that's 2 monster builds for you because you're running heavy cars at both shows. And I'm sure you're going to have some leftover stuff, to run kind of in the summer too. How in the hell do you balance 2 big monster builds like you've got going on now, all your social media and your TikTok following, all your build updates, plus the leftover shit that you get to run during the summer? How do you do all of that shit in 7 days a week?
Well, for me, this year especially, I had a pretty good head start on my King car. So the King car is coming along pretty well. Putting the cage and stuff in now, ready to build the trunk next, and then, drive line. So the frame is done, rear end and everything's in. So we're getting down to cage, trunk, and drive line, and then it'll be bolt-ons. So I've built heavy cars for a lot of years. I still run some stock stuff in between, but, after you build so many of these, you kind of get used to what it takes. So my goal is to be done with my King car about a month before that Derby. That Derby is Father's Day weekend. So once it's done, my plan is to get a frame in for Bristol and go ahead and get started on the frame. So I'm going to try to get it done early if that's possible. But to me, it's just getting in the garage and being consistent. I might not work all night every night, but I like to get out there and get 2 or 3 hours as much as possible during the week, and then I'll spend a lot of time on the weekends, getting those things done. I'm not married and I don't have kids, so a lot of my free time is in the shop.
Boy, you better make that shit count while you still got it.
Well, I'm not a young pup anymore, so I've been doing it a long time this way. But, I'm just trying to and build as much as I can within reason and hit the derbies. And, I've always kind of gravitated towards the heavier builds. That's what I enjoy building. But I also will build lighter cars sometimes in between, like a bone stock car or something.
Now, you guys all got together and you came up with these set of rules, and you guys you have a team on the pro side, not the pro light. Are you? I usually don't try to put people on the spot, but I'm going to ask: are you taking the car that you want to take?
Okay, so the car, I haven't decided on what I'm taking. You're only allowed 2 old iron and 2 03 and newers. So we've got a guy bringing a wagon. My brother will be in a 09. Our other teammate, I'm waiting on him to decide. I told him I would pick last. Preferably, I'd like to be in an 09, but I'll build whatever we need. I've run a few old iron, but I'll probably stay with the Ford regardless if it's an 09 or a 2000.
He was honest.
Yeah, very much so.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know they were splitting them 2 old irons, and you can have 2 03s, but you can have all your...
Yeah, you just can't have more than 2 old irons, and you can't have more than 2 03s. So a team could show up with 4 new irons as long as 2 weren't, 03s.
Okay.
Which, I mean, we've seen that played out. It makes for a good, diverse field, and I like it.
Yeah, we really didn't want teams bringing 4 wagons, and we really didn't want teams bringing 4 03 and up. So we decided to mix that up a little bit because we also know there's unintended consequences for these decisions. Wagons are already crazy expensive, and then you put on 2 classes $100,000 to win, and you can bring 4 wagons. What do you think the price is going to do? It's going to double, right?
Yep.
So we're trying to keep those things in mind too.
Well, and see, that's why I run Mopars. Nobody wants any of those.
Hey, if I could put a different lower on an imp, that's what I would take. But it's hard to hold the front wheels.
Oh yeah. Imp's doing imp things.
Yeah, I mean they're nasty. It's just you got to steer them. For sure.
Well, dude, back in you ran Blizzard Bash in 2022.
Yes.
You and Blake Neely and Dalton Palmer, and we're not going to say the other guy who started on that team.
Right.
You and Blake, was it an object for you? Did you guys like huddle up before y'all went out and said, I'm going to take all four wheels right off the motherfucking ground every 10 seconds?
Well, I guarantee you that was probably Blake's plan, because Blake, they call him Maverick for a reason. And I love Blake to death, but he's wild. And he's a guy you want on your team because he's taking one or two cars with him usually. But for me, I like to keep our four wheels on the track if possible. I got scooped up by Zach Johnson right under my driver's door, and I went over on my top, and everybody knows the infamous Jason's seat fell out of his car. So the only thing we can figure is that the pillars or something in his car caught a couple seat bolts, and when I went over, the rest of it ripped out because I'm not a small guy. So it was a scary moment, and I was lucky that I didn't get hurt too bad. I had a concussion, and I tore my shoulder a little bit, but we were able to get back in the car the next night. Now, we didn't do any good, but we also didn't load up on the trailer like a little you-know-what and go to the house.
You mean like a little bitch?
We put our boots on, and we went back on the track.
I'd say it for you, Jason. Like a little bitch?
That's right.
No, there's something to be said whenever you pull back out on that track, even after something, has happened like that. Because just as well as anybody else that's running any kind of team setting, you've got an obligation to your teammates.
Absolutely. That's number one obligation.
You don't want to show up with junk. You don't want to let anybody down. It really brings out the best in a builder, in my opinion, whenever you put them in a team setting like that.
Well, it not only you're building at the shop, but what you can do at the track and how you can repair and fix your ride in a short time frame. Because, sometimes the repairs are small and sometimes they're major repairs. And having a good pit crew is huge. You got to have guys who are grunts, but you also have to have guys you can say, hey, go do this, and you don't have to follow them up because it's going to be right. So I've been very fortunate to always have a really good pit crew. A lot of people know Robbie Crittenden with the Simple Solution. Well, we live in the same hometown, and he's always been a good pit crew member. And my brother has always been in my pit crew, and then my good buddy Brandon Adams, who ran the old Killdozer car for years when we run 5-footers, he's always been on there. So the team show atmosphere is what I love. I love all derbies, but to me it brings out the best, like you said. Not only is the action great on the track, but it tests your abilities, and to me, you never give up on your team and your teammates, You just got to stick it out, whether you get hurt, whether the car is a piece of junk, but you got to get it back on the track.
Now, dude, you just said Robbie Crittenden. He hasn't talked you into running simplified harness 4.6s and shit in all your Fords, or what?
Oh, he tries. we got a couple stocker car setups, and we do run his products. So Robbie is a stand-up guy, and I am going to plug him. If you need anything for a 4.6, you get with him, because not only does he make great products, but awesome customer service.
Well, I'm almost positive you didn't have to plug him for that, because anybody that's looking for any kind of parts to make a 4.6 do what they're supposed to do, that they've got his number.
And I was over his shop tonight, and they're finishing up the car for the Derby Expo for the youth, and he is donating that car to the youth, whoever wins that. So It is a top-notch car, too. I was like, I wish I was 14 and was in the running for it.
Well, I know for a fact, I've seen some of them 4.6s run, and they're no joke.
No, in my opinion, if they're right, like Robbie does, they resemble an LS a lot.
100%. Yeah. Because you can take
Yeah,
one. You can
he's
take.
definitely made a lot of people believers out of him. That's for sure. So,
I mean, they're still.
yeah, we got our butts kicked up there in Kansas this past time we went, and if you run enough of those, that's going to happen. You see the best of the best out there. Sometimes they are winners, and sometimes they get it handed to them. But that's what the fans love to see. They love to see some good hard hitting action. They like to see some rollovers, and I think the team show for me is the highest entertainment in our sport.
I agree.
Touche.
I agree. I know another big thing that's on the rise, and I'm sure you can contest to that, is these single one and dones. Multiple feature one and dones. Man, those are taking the sport over. And I'm not going to say that I hate that, because it makes the show just a little bit shorter, and I almost feel like you get to see a little bit more action because them guys aren't holding back. Because they're like, I don't have to fix this fucking thing for tomorrow.
Yep.
Right, and they're trying to win it right then. They're not trying to win it the next heat. They're trying to win it then. So really, like you said, that brings out better competition on those one and done. And I like one and dones too, because I ain't got to work on my stuff when I'm done. I can put it on the trailer.
Well, I'm telling you right now, you ever see my name on a list for a big show, it's going to be in one of the one and done classes, because I'm not dragging all that shit with me.
They are going to have some one and done classes down at Bristol too. They haven't released that yet, but I think hopefully by April they're going to release that. So
I've been
they're
talking.
Going to have some team events, and then they're going to have the single classes.
I've been talking to a couple guys. I said, you make sure that my name's on that list. I'll send you the money as soon as I need to.
Yeah, just get with it.
Now, Jason, back Blizzard Bash when you ran, you had kind of really, your TikTok stuff had really taken over. You were at like 30,000 followers. And of course, Blake was fucking with you on his live interview.
Right.
How did you get that to keep progressing? Because, we've talked to Tyson Shelley, Will Steinbeck, both those guys are putting their builds out there as well as you. How do you just keep getting that fucker to grow?
Well, it's really slowed down because I haven't posted as much. Now, I'm a little more careful what I show and don't show, because even when you're built to the rules, you get lots of phone calls, messages, and complaints, and it just takes up too much of your time. So I have slowed down on it, so it wasn't doing what it was. But as I progress through this build, I'm going to release more. But the biggest thing that I did early on was I posted almost every day, and I did that for a few months. So what that does, it forces you to video what you're doing. And for me, I kind of got lucky. Like, the timing was pretty good because nobody was doing a lot of what I did. Like, there were guys doing stuff like Clutch Marls and some of the Ciopa guys. But as far as, like, showing your builds and what you're doing, there wasn't much of that going on a consistent basis. And my whole little slogan at the start of my video kind of took off, and people relate me to that thing. So that there was kind of a little bit of luck, but I think the biggest thing for me is I'm just being myself, and here's what I'm working on. Here's what I try to do. This is what I do to build my trunk. This is what I do when I put a cage in. This is how I pressure a motor in. So there's a lot for me. My motivation was to help those who don't know. There's so many young people in the sport that maybe they want to step up to a better class, or maybe they want to improve how they weld on a bumper. So for me, my motivation is to help those who don't know, because when I was coming up driving and building, I didn't have those resources. I had to figure it out on my own, and it's a lot of butt kickings on the track and a lot of trial and error. So for me, it brought a lot of positive impact to the younger community, which I thought was good.
Yeah, what I think Will told us, during his interview, when he started, the old timers wouldn't have told you nothing if their mouth was full of shit.
Right.
and the day and age now, you talked about the wagons being what they are, and goddamn, there's 9802s that are stripped that are going for $1,200.
Exactly.
10 years ago, that didn't happen. 10 years ago, you were given $1,000 for spotless, clean 74, 5, 6 Impalas, 3, 4, 5, and 6 Caddies, and now everything has just grown so much, and I never see the price going to be dropping.
No, it's not going to, and for me, the social media stuff, it turned into a lot more than I thought it would when I started. It's brought a lot of joy in my life. When I go to derbies, a lot of young kids will stop me and want to say hello and stuff. So that's a really positive thing. It brings a lot of hate also, but the positive, definitely outweighs the negative. And I would say anybody who does social media, the best thing you can do is to be consistent and to post. Keep posting your content. And the other thing is to be genuine and be yourself.
Well, and I know that that's really what put us in the right direction as far as this podcast, because we have posted every week since we started this thing. And I mean, It hasn't been late. It hasn't been this. We didn't take a week off. We haven't done any of that. It has been every Thursday since we started this shit. And everybody knows that.
People look forward to those releases.
Yeah, they know at 5 a.m. on Thursday they'll be able to listen to this shit. Let's switch gears a little bit. So, how did you actually get started in this sport?
When I was out of high school, my older brother, Matthew Kinman, he derbied with his buddy, and I got interested in it. And my brother gave me my first car, and first derby I went to was like 83, 84 cars, something like that, and I got second place, and I was hooked from then, man. So I didn't know anything about cars. I didn't know how to weld. I didn't know much about stuff mechanically at that time, and I fell in love with the sport, doing it with my brother, and it turned into where I'm at now, almost 20 years later. So I ran hard for many, many years. I would run 15 to 20 shows, and that's what I did in my free time, and that's still what I do. So that's how I got started, was really through my brother.
Now, I know this is kind of a rhetorical question to a certain extent. Usually, I think your biggest show of the year usually is King of Ohio. I know that's probably going to be overstepped in 2024 with Bristol.
Right.
But what makes the King of Ohio so badass?
Well, what I like about it is it's different. And a lot of people don't like the idea of the format. But I've ran it a couple times, and you have to beat two cars to make it to the feature. So, there is a chance that those two cars will work together to put you out, but only one advances. So, to me, a lot of your bigger shows, let's say, I'm not picking on this show, it just comes to mind. Metal Mayhem, for example. In your heat, you better have a posse with you to get out of there, in most cases. I mean, every once in a while you can go in there by yourself and make it to the feature, but you better have 3 or 4 guys kind of running together to make it to the feature. At the King, you got yourself in the heat. Now, if you make it to the feature, of course, people align and work together, but to me, I like it because it's a good hard build. I don't have to have numbers to make it to the feature, and I feel like, the inspection was fair, and the pace of the show is fast. Like, there's not a ton of bagging. I think last year in the feature, they paid $26,500 to first place. I think it only lasted 40 minutes.
Holy shit!
You just don't see that for that kind of money. And these are hard cars. These aren't softer builds. I mean, these cars are hard. So I mean, you got the front bar up against the DP. You've got good heavy cages. You've got 14-inch bumper brackets. Pointies, full cradles, full trans braces. I mean, these cars are hard. So, to me, I like that because it seems like the pace is really strong. So, you're not sitting there watching a 2.5-hour feature, like a gas mileage derby. So, that's what I enjoy about it.
Yeah, I mean that definitely. If you can make them, I like a medium build, kind of like what you're talking about. More of that light weld street stock,
right.
stuff like that. Because the cars will still move, but you can still use the car.
Right.
Whereas like whenever I'm running the stock stuff, it's every shot better count, or you're going to be sitting there watching the Derby from your driver's seat.
Yep.
Right, and one bad shot could ruin your night.
Right.
For sure.
Well, brother man, we appreciate you taking the time, getting on with us. Like I said, we wanted to touch on with a few guys on the D.E.M.O stuff. So, like I said, we appreciate you taking your time out of your build process to sit down with us. And we're going to let you get to it for the evening, brother.
And hopefully that when everything drops there after the 1st of April, maybe we can touch back in with you.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And y'all understand, like, all the voting that's going on. I know there's been a lot of questions. Y'all understand how all that works?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
My voting's in.
It's just something we came up with to get the fans' interaction involved and create a buzz. And I think it's a pretty cool idea. We'll see how it works out.
Oh, yeah. We started the beginning of this episode off with explaining how everybody can go vote and that they need to.
Awesome. So,
well, we appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, Jason. We appreciate you, dude.
Yep. Y'all have a great night.
You too, buddy. There he was.
There you
go. He didn't give out a whole bunch of details.
No, but it's not time for that.
No.
But I'm just telling everybody, the more you keep listening to this, hey, we just keep getting more info and more info and more info.
Yep.
So it's not like that they're posting this shit and then stopping working on it.
No. Hell no.
Jason's a good dude. He's always very informative.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't checked out his TikTok stuff, go check that shit out.
That's right. I think it's under Derby Freaks.
Yes.
Well, let's stop for the D.E.M.O tonight.
Not D.E.M.O in general.
D.E.M.O.
There you go.
We kind of didn't finish our Capital City Carnage coverage.
But we got what
because
we need
we didn't
now.
have. I couldn't remember. But we have got it all.
His mind's about as long as my dick. So you can't even remember what the fuck he was talking about.
Light welds. Blizzard Bash. Mr. Mavis kind of took some social bashing. I mean, that's normal bullshit.
He should have just called Cody. Hey, how do I deal with this? Oh, just tell him that the fucking bank don't care.
That's right. That is right. So Saturday night's limited weld, Mr. 5X, he pulled off the win.
Surprise.
Wally Meyer second, Doug Gibson third.
If they want him to quit bagging, make him stop.
Correct. He didn't bag.
I know, I'm just saying. Like, whenever he caught all that shit about that, make him stop. That's all you got to do. Because it's not like he's got 15 people out there blocking for him.
Correct. We hit off on the street stock heat one, or feature one. Sean Pryor, Lane Ibbotson, DJ Adamson.
Mad Dog right here.
And Mad Dog at Alan Hossey.
Where you seen that name at before?
I think we just saw it on the... that's right.
There we go.
On the Bristol Baby list. Street stock heat 2. Feature 2.
Mr. Bald Head Express.
Dirtbag hero pulling off the win, Mr. James Kitchell.
I'm telling you, if the next big show I run, I'm shaving my motherfucking head.
Gary Russell second, Jarrett Ross third. Jake Sauter was the Mad Dog. Very fucking well deserved.
He earned that motherfucker.
I kind of felt sorry for Jason's boy because he cleared that Cordoba. I'm pretty sure the beak of that bitch was over the carburetor. It was wild.
Poor Doba.
Street stock feature number 3. I think this guy's name was on that Bristol list as well. Julian Suter. Joe Hawkins run second. Dustin Looney run third. Street stock weld feature number 4. Mr. Wyatt Oberly, Jonte Green, Clint Doherty. Mr. Green, shit was pretty rough after that, boy. He wanted to grab the volume knob, and then him and Mr. Oberly finished it nose to nose. Well, nose to balancer, I'm going to say. World Heat 5. Justin Steffen.
Bradley Cash.
That's right. Didn't we just see his name too?
I think we did.
And Adam Klein.
Mods.
Levi Markley was the Mad Dog. Well deserved. Holy shit.
It looked like he went out there with the game plan to do that.
Well, I think he had the same game plan. They really had the same game plan in the 2-man extreme because he won that fucking thing too.
Yeah. Maybe he was just jacked.
Just jacked up. Dirtbag hero James Kitchell run third. David Earl second. Joey Molman, in his exact words, "Thanks, Dad, for letting me run your car and all your shit." Didn't look like Joey heard anything, but that is a name that we hit on after Blizzard Bash.
Yep.
Boys and girls, you better fucking start paying attention.
Watch it.
Because he run it down. He was the last person on his team for the Crazy Iowans when it came down to them guys at the end. And then he turned around and won the mod shit.
Which we talked about that. Jerry had a hell of a run in there.
Yes, he did.
I mean, his car, fuck, that thing was hard.
Yeah.
Which...
Front still harder than woodpecker lips.
Yep.
Ass end not so much. It was kind of blowed out like a $3 hooker on coupon day.
Yep.
2-man extreme, we just hit on that. Levi Markley and Jerome Crowther got the win. Andy Myers and Tyler Martin second. Hunter Elms, Dakota Elms got third. The Mad Dogs, there was two of them.
Shits.
That's right. Peyton Mitchell and Kyle Osborne and Jordan Hecht and Ethan White. I do want to give a shout out to the Street Stock Weld Heat number 4. Everybody knows Skinny was signed up. Skinny didn't feel good enough to get in the car. Hunter and his homies got that built. Hunter went out and run 4th.
Yep.
I think Buddy thought he was 3rd. So, they did talk a little bit, and, of course, they were overrun with emotion. Very much deserved to be overrun with emotion.
Well, I don't know if you caught any of the snaps or anything before they got out there. Hunter, he's like 3-day build.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're used to the 3-day build shit on the hobo stuff that, Hunter runs a lot of out there in Kansas.
I say little. I use that loosely.
Young little fucker.
That young little fucker. He wheeled a car.
He never lost his composure.
Well, it's like he don't care.
Nope. He never lost it.
Very good with the flow. He don't get pissed off.
Nope. He used the ass until it was time to not use the ass.
Yep.
And then it was business end of it.
Mm-hmm. We can skip the next part.
Weld Compacts. Nick Bergen took the win. Tyler Schaefer second. Jeremy Grief third. Big D fourth.
Yep.
Missouri guys repped as good as they could. Front wheel drive hobo. Logan Anderson pulled the win off there. Alex Maxwell and Kyle Hansen. Front wheel minivan hobos. That was the craziest shit I've ever seen out of a minivan.
But look who was in that class.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you had some molders in there. You had several molders in there. Scott run third. Ben Hitz was second. Lucas Winfield won it. But Mr. Ben, the entire loaded beam axle was behind the van, inverted with the leaf springs along with it. And that fucker was still getting around.
Just dragging around.
He just got to the spot where he couldn't back up.
That track was wetting dick hard. Mm-hmm. So you didn't have to worry about it digging in.
No.
Best thing could have happened is when he got rid of it. Like,
if it would have just fell the fuck off.
Yeah.
The youth front
like a quote unquote Austin Johnson type delete.
Lieutenant Dan type of shit. Front wheel drive, youth hobos.
I did not get to watch that, and it wasn't because.
Well, do you remember when I told you Mr. Braden Christensen was in Pleasant Hill last fall?
Yes.
He run this fucking thing just like his big car. Forward on the floor. Still on the floor, grab reverse, and then took the shifter right back forward. He run it until it died, until he couldn't go no more. Very well-deserved mad dog.
Wide open until you see God, then break.
Oh, he didn't break. He just used the other fucker to break. And then just backed up. Cam Penwell.
Yep.
Name that, guys. Pay attention.
Watch for it.
Pay attention.
Because
I think this kid's only 13.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yes. He'll be out of the youth before he has to get out of the youth.
Yep. I believe
Mark
so.
my words on that.
Yep. I think if I had to bet, he'll probably be in like a stock class.
Yep.
Big cars. And then just go to
he'll
full
be
weld shit.
wherever.
Yep. Jarrett Still runs second. And Delana Failing, female, got the win. I think she's over there pretty close to Buddy Hess. You know, so a lot of family stuff. And I think it was very well deserved. Guys, holy shit, it's everywhere.
There it is again.
Holy woo. Yeah, if you're not paying attention to your Facebook, you need to. Because it's everywhere. I just closed out of a picture and it instantly went to Facebook and they're, holy shit, they're everywhere.
It's the next big thing.
It is.
That's what everybody's looking for.
Just like we talked, South Dakota was something
last
new.
Year's big thing.
It was last year's big thing. There was,
and I'm not even taking anything away from that.
No.
I'm not taking away anything from that. Blizzard Bash, whatever. I love seeing this shit.
Blizzard Bash has been around since 2010 in Topeka. South Dakota, we talked to Chris last week. They've sold out more hotels by now than they did all last year. That shows some skepticism.
Yep.
In my opinion, hey, let's not go. Let's not run. We'll just watch it on pay-per-view.
Yep.
We'll see how it does.
How many times did we see that on a small scale?
A lot.
Our first team show.
Yep. Till they came and watched it, and they were like, holy shit.
I wish I was here. I wish I would have brought a car.
Man, I should have brought a fucking car. All I had to do was put a motor in it. Well, we tried before. We tried. But you didn't want to listen.
Right. Because there was so many drivers leaned up against the fence watching that derby.
Hollering at me. I was like, what the fuck are you doing back there? Well, I didn't really know, team show around here.
That could have been why we sold out of beer before the show started, too.
That could have been. That very well could have been the fucking reason. But, guys.
Just because something new don't mean it's scary.
Correct. It's just a derby.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck if it's in South Carolina, Florida, the state of Washington, Montana, Utah, Texas. It doesn't matter. As long as those checks don't bounce, They'll have it next year. I promise you. They'll have it next year. It's all the new yearly internet buzz.
Everybody's always waiting for the next big thing.
And there might be some guys who were investors in this deal that decides, you know what? I did it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it next year. But I damn sure want to do it this year.
Uh-huh.
I want to try it. I want to see how everything goes. And if everything goes great, I don't see why these people won't come back.
And there it is again.
There it is again. But it's
you can only say it so much, but holy shit, guys. Buckle up for this year.
for the whole year.
Yeah.
The whole year.
I'm already broke. We ain't went nowhere yet.
Does it make a difference if we start broke?
Well, I've been like this my whole life. Tune in next week.
Chaos. Reckless promotions. Cornhusker chaos. As soon as I get back from Las Vegas. 4 days later, I leave for Nebraska. Then we get a chill week. And a Spring X, baby. Spring X.
Yep.
Some teams have been uploaded.
Oh, I got a, speaking of Spring X, this is the California one.
Oh, okay.
I got a text message the
You
other
mean
day.
Spring Extreme?
Yes. I got a text message the other day. This guy was like, "Hey man, do you have any walking pancake decals?" And I was like, "I don't." I was like, "But holler at Justin brought it because he can hook you up." And he's like, "Well, you care if I run that on my car?" I was like, "Not at all." I said, "Just give. I just need it needs to say filthy on it somewhere." And Hard Nosed Derby podcast, home of the walking pancake.
The fucking walking pancake.
You would be surprised at the amount of messages I've got over that. What the fuck is a walking pancake? Well, you know how when you don't finish a pancake, but you want to take it with you.
Yeah. You roll up that bitch up like a joint, throw it in your pocket. Walk right out the door with it. Mr. Triple B's Tees has got us hooked up. He's working on something for a 100th episode. He's also working on some stuff for the consumer. We just haven't figured out how we're going to do that part yet.
Yes, because we want to be able for him to keep his prices the way they are, but also be able to give us a little kickback.
Mm-hmm. The drafts look fucking badass.
They do.
The 100th episode.
I'm thinking about getting one of those screen prints and just putting it on my chest.
You've got way too much taco meat for that shit.
I'll shave that shit.
You will not shave it. Shut your face.
Man, you think these fans or the listeners, you think they listen to this and they're like, man, this is such a serious episode. And then we get to the end and this is how we end the shit.
Oh, but no, serious guys. Hook up Triple B's, Broadhead decals.
And it don't have to be just derby shit.
No, they do business shit.
Oh, yeah.
If you got a cleaning business, a lawn care business,
Yes. OnlyFans.
strip club, who gives a shit?
Whatever.
They'll hook you up.
Cheap prostitute. $20 is $20.
That's right. So stay tuned, guys. We said our guests are just going to kind of keep on rolling.
It just goes up from here.
Just wait for the next several. So, brother, got any last words?
Nope.
Make junk, boys. If you don't use Broadhead decals,
Then
fuck you.